Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about building wealth, but maybe not in the way you think. We're going to dive into the art of startup fundraising to really uncover the two pillars that build an empire. One, a powerful, calculated business strategy, and two, the mission-critical psychology that actually drives the whole thing.
So let's kick things off with this really raw insight from investor Barbara Corcoran. Just let that sink in for a second. What she's really telling us is that at its core, fundraising, and building real wealth, isn't just about having a great idea. It's a fundamental test of your character. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to tackle the entrepreneurial mindset. That's the inner game. Then we'll shift to the outer game, how to craft a killer pitch, navigate the, kind of complex world of investors, and finally, the art of actually closing the deal.
Right. Before we even dream of looking at a spreadsheet or a term sheet, we have to start right here. Why? Because your strategy is only as strong as your psychology. It all comes down to who you are under pressure.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds completely backward, doesn't it? But here's a little secret from inside the industry. You have to live by this mantra. Investors, well, they're paid to be skeptical. They are actively hunting for reasons to say no. So your entire job becomes systematically taking apart every single one of their objections until it's just impossible for them to walk away. So how do you actually do that? Well, at first, it's less about your financial model and way more about these traits. Investors like Barbara Corcoran, they're looking for signals, clues that you're a winner. They want to see that you thrive in chaos, that you can communicate a vision with this unshakable conviction. Can you sell that dream with absolute confidence? Because that's what they're really investing in. And one thing the book just hammers home is that this fundraising journey, it's an emotional gauntlet. I'm talking incredible highs followed by absolutely crushing lows. The real psychological skill here is learning to almost love rejection, to see every no not as the end of the road, but just as a not yet. Okay, so with that inner game locked in, let's build on it. We're moving from the art of your mindset to the science of the pitch. These are the concrete tools you're going to use to tell your story and make your case. And that's really the crucial point, isn't it? Your pitch, it's not a report, it's a performance. The greatest entrepreneurs are first and foremost incredible storytellers. They convince the best talent and the smartest investors to join them on this crazy journey into the unknown. And this right here just illustrates the art of it all so perfectly. Your pitch deck. It's just the script for that story. It's the tool you use to turn some abstract vision in your head into something tangible, emotional, and most importantly, something they want to invest in. Now, take a look at the slides that are outlined here. See that? There's a narrative arc. It's a logical argument that just builds and builds. You start with this huge, relatable problem. Then you bring in your elegant solution. And then you prove you are the only team on the planet that can build a profitable business around it. It's a story, a persuasive one, not just a data dump. All right, you've mastered your mindset. You've built your pitch. Now it's time to step into the arena. And to win this game, you have to know the other players. And you better understand the rules they play by. And you've got to know, not all money is the same. The two big players you'll hear about are angel investors and venture capitalists, or VCs. Think of an angel as your first believer, They're often investing their own cash, maybe based on a personal connection. A VC firm, on the other hand, is an institution. They're managing other people's money, and they are hunting for massive, home run returns. And that means your strategy for approaching them can't just be a little different, it has to be worlds apart. See, fundraising isn't just one single event. It is a journey through different stages. You start with a seed round to prove your concept actually works. Then you go raise a Series A to find a business model that's repeatable and scalable. And those later rounds, B, C, and beyond, well, that's all about pouring fuel on a fire that's already burning bright. So this brings us to the end game. You've navigated the psychology, you've told your story, you've found the right investors. Now it's time to turn all of that interest into actual capital in the bank. So when an investor gets really serious, they're going to send you this, a term sheet. This document right here is the blueprint for the entire deal. And it's usually non-binding, but this is the moment where all those abstract conversations about your company's future become very concrete terms on paper. And these terms you see on the slide, they are so much more than just definitions. These are the levers of power in your deal. Valuation isn't just a number. It is a full-on negotiation. Equity, that's the piece of your dream you're trading for capital. And anti-dilution, Think of that as an insurance policy for your investors in case your valuation drops later on. Understanding this stuff isn't just recommended, it is absolutely non-negotiable. Now, along this path, there are some really critical but super common traps to avoid. You have to remember, fundraising is about relationships, not transactions. Your reputation, that's your most valuable asset, so never, ever overpromise. And finally, you have to maintain momentum. A sense of urgency is what gets deals signed. And this is the final, crucial mindset shift you absolutely have to make. The signature on the paper is not the finish line. It's the starting gun for a long-term partnership. You haven't just gotten an investor. You've just gained a new partner who's going to be with you for years and years to come. So, as we wrap this explainer up, I'm going to leave you with this question. Building a massively successful venture. It's a blend of art and science. It's the story and the spreadsheet. It's resilience and a revenue model. So take a second and think. Are you all science, just focused on the numbers? Or are you also cultivating the art, the mindset, the story, the relationships? That's what really builds empires.